and a big culture shock
Mm.
where we're just like, you know, these very artistic people. We have like big words all the time, but then when it comes to setting up a complex solution, we tend to get lost. And we can see it now as well with the dancing.
Hold on.
Irony.
Yeah, Bertha.
I'm good, thank you. Enjoying the sun from my living room.
Yeah, it's been a funny day because it's been kind of raining, but also super bright as well.
Yeah. It was hailing as well at some point.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely get an hour of sun later.
And I've just had a...
Have we got a Zoom on the go for YouTube?
Yep, I've just switched it on. We are officially live on YouTube as well. Hold on, let me get my charger. Whoops, it's 1:30. We should get going. Where's Amy? Not Amy, Emily and Petra. Yeah, can you message them? It's really weird looking at the YouTube because it's like, I don't know, it feels like at least 30 seconds behind what I'm actually doing. So I'm looking at what I was doing 30 seconds ago. It's mad.
Oh, Emily's here. Okay.
Perfecto.
Am I in the Zoom call?
You should come and join us in the Zoom call. Everybody should come and join us in the Zoom call, no? Ah, see. I'm admitting you now.
Okay.
And Amy is
Hello,
in.
hello everyone. Is it the same link as last week?
For the Zoom? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just looking for it.
Yeah, it should be in your calendar, 3:30.
Yeah, that's what I usually check, just to be sure.
So who else is waiting to come into the Zoom? Emily, Petra.
Okay, I think I'm just joining. Yeah.
Okay. Yay. And Emily.
Guys, I can't find the email. Can someone send me the link?
Sure, I will send it again.
Thank you.
Miss Emily. Okay, have you got it now? So while Emily is making her way into joining us on the Zoom, which is connected to YouTube Live, then I just wanted to let you know that if we're getting too much feedback, because I feel like the last session that we did, there was quite a lot of feedback happening, like the kind of all that kind of noise, distortion noise because of the two devices. So if that happens again, then I suggest we just close down Clubhouse if there's nobody around in the room, and then we just concentrate on YouTube Live.
Okay.
Yeah, because we can still take the audio from the Zoom and the video as well, so it's going to have a lot more shelf life than the Clubhouse. Ah, here comes Emily. All right, so let me get our Artisan Roast and Caffe Nero. Okay, hey, perfect. So everybody's here. All right, so let's get cracking. So welcome. Oh, give me a pause. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Finn Witchley of Supersize Media and the Supersize Media team here to entertain, inform, and educate you all about the latest, the greatest, and the craziest and the most ridiculous stuff that's happening online and particularly on social media. Supersize Media is a little boutique agency operating in the Northern Hemisphere in a beautiful city called Edinburgh. We're all working virtually, obviously, and we work with clients all around the world from New Mexico to Belgium and Australia to Vancouver and actual Mexico, not just New Mexico, and then obviously a lot of people in the UK as well. And we specialize in helping companies develop their strategies, either through helping them with assistance to actually deliver it, or even to have coaching to make sure that you are developing a great strategy that's going to be very effective and making the most of your resources, whether those resources are cash, skills, time, and knowledge and things like that. So today on the show, we're doing a weekly show where we're doing a marketing breakdown or a marketing clinic, a marketing critique of what's happening in the different industries. And last week we started with information all about hospitality, and we were looking in depth at two hospitality businesses called, anybody? I forgot.
All bar one and
I
Boda
can't hear
bar.
you, Emily.
Can't hear me.
Boda bar and all bar one. There you go. Okay. So, and then this week we are going to be focusing massively on, again, a large hospitality organization and a small local one. And from this, if you're a hospitality business, whether you're a cafe, restaurant, accommodation, you're going to be learning lots and lots of tips and tools and tricks that you can be implementing for building your business and building a buzz, particularly as we start moving towards the end of restrictions of our lockdown. So let's get started. So does somebody want to actually do a quick description of Caffe Nero in case nobody has ever heard of Caffe Nero before? Looking for hands. Okay, we're not seeing hands, right? I'll do it then. So Caffe Nero is a British company, and it's a high street brand which operates in thousands and thousands of different parts of the UK, and they have a presence in the US and in different parts of the world as well. When you go onto their website, you can go onto their US experience, which tells you that they have a Facebook and a Twitter account. Whereas if you go onto their UK part of their website, then there is no more Twitter at all available. You only have the option with online to go and check out their Facebook, their Instagram, or their YouTube, which is quite an interesting trajectory for their social media. Be curious to discover why Caffe Nero abandoned Twitter, because I would imagine that they started with Twitter, but might have decided that maybe it was too toxic. Who knows? All right, so Caffe Nero is basically a British equivalent of Starbucks or Costa. We're pretty much in the same kind of price brackets. They offer the same kind of coffees and cakes and sandwiches and small lunches. It's a great place for hanging out, doing work, working in your business, normally when they're actually open. The only difference really is that they have a blue branding as opposed to the reds of the other kind of coffee shops as well. All right, so who's got their first impressions? Who wants to take it away in terms of what they're observing with the Caffe Nero website? Has anybody noticed anything unusual or extraordinary, or even how much traffic they're getting?
Well, I can start if I can.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I don't know about traffic, but from what I could see on the website, they have some videos like moving pictures, which I find quite like interactive and like quite attractive for like when you land on the website. There is in the right top corner there is like a location button, which I find really useful. That like you can see it straight away when you get to the website, and you can like look for like their shops, like the nearest stores that are like closest to you. What else I realized? Oh yeah, they have their social media icons. They are not at the bottom, but you have to scroll like at the bottom until the end, and then you can find their. I think like usually it's better if it's at the top, but on their website, because like I don't know, like with the videos, I find it that it's the location of the icons is quite good. Like you can see they are quite big, so I think they located quite well. And what else? Yeah, also you can on the main page you can see that they also introduced their app and that they are doing deliveries, which I think maybe because of the current restrictions, they thought it's a good time to maybe to start with something like this.
Has anybody had a chance to actually download the app and see what the experience is? Because obviously a lot of hospitality businesses would be very curious to know, obviously we have to have our website, but what are the advantages of having an app as a hospitality business?
No, I didn't download it. So
I think the sort of main advantage to having an app for a hospitality business is that customers can make orders a lot quicker. So especially if it's like the summer, and I think it will be in a few weeks where you have to order to your table or order just to pick up and take away. I think it's a lot easier and they can do it on their phone. So that means they can do it on the go. So that's the main advantage, I think, to having an app as a hospitality business.
Yep. And also, of course, it means you can capture a lot more information about that particular customer in terms of what their appetites are like, what their frequencies are like, and you can target marketing a lot more in much more detail as well. You can collect information on their birthdays and send them special vouchers and special offers direct into their telephone. So the app means that you actually get a lot closer to your customer than just with a website, essentially.
I haven't downloaded that myself, but I see that there's been about 10,000 reviews on the app store, and they've got nearly a 5-star rating, so it's clear that people do enjoy using this app.
Amazing. Does anybody else use any other kind of hospitality apps, maybe like Starbucks or Costa or any of these places?
I used to use the Starbucks app, and I think it's very efficient. It's very quick and easy to use. The only thing is, like, they had the wrong menu on that app for a long time, so I think that's something hospitality venues have to look at. And I've used a lot of bar apps as well, and they are also very efficient too.
And so would you say that people are in the hospitality industry are moving much more towards the app experience as a result of lockdown, maybe?
Definitely, I would say, because it makes it so much easier for them. Like, when it comes to staffing alone, if you think a busy day, even just in a few weeks, fingers crossed, in a month's time, how busy the pubs will be, it's so much easier if people can order on the app instead of like staff having to run between each table to get orders and stuff.
Yeah, so you can see that that's going to be a much more kind of systematized process. It's going to be much more efficient in terms of labor. And so everybody wants cost efficiencies when it comes to running their business, definitely. And by the way, even when we have the end of lockdown in May, I think it is April anyway, we will have other series of closing and opening and closing and opening again, because there will be new and different varieties of lockdowns happening. So for example, Belgium, they were open 2 weeks ago, and now they've been told that they need to shut down again as of today or Monday. Also, the big news this afternoon is Germany has closed the border with France. It's the World War II, but gone in reverse this time. So basically, they're not allowing any French people into Germany, because France is now regarded as an area of, I don't know what the technical word is, but let's call it high toxicity. So it looks like we're the third wave of corona is really kicking off in Europe. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Any other reflections on the website? For me, I can see that the website traffic for a .com hospitality business is on the low side since December, but obviously because they've been closed. Despite the fact that they've been closed, they're still able to clock in. Well, they're not been closed. Obviously, their physical premises is closed. You can't go in and sit in, but you can still take takeaways and things as well. But they're still able to deliver 135,000 monthly visits on their website. And each person generally tends to spend about 3.5 minutes on their website looking at about 4 pages. And then the other interesting feature about them is that a lot of people are doing an organic search, which is the luxury of a well-known brand. What that organic search means is that people are typing in the actual name of the company. So if they put Caffe Nero or Caffe Nero with the 2 F's that they have for the Italian spelling, then that will come up, and 56% of all the traffic that's going into the website is coming in from that kind of Google search or Bing search or whatever search engine they're using. And then 31% of people are coming in from emails. So people are being sent regular emails out from Caffe Nero, and then they're clicking through to be able to get some of the deals, the discounts, the special offers, the seasonal offers, or whatever it is. I can also see that 68% of the traffic to the website is coming from the United Kingdom, and 17% is coming from the United States. You can also see that Turkey is giving them almost 3% of traffic, Sweden nearly 2%, and United Arab Emirates 1.5%. They are doing a tiny bit of Google PPC AdWords. And so, but they mainly tend to be centered around making sure that people find the words Caffe Nero, Caffe Nero, Caffe Nero menu, Caffe Nero menu, Nero coffee, those kinds of variations on a theme. A lot of people seem to be looking at it in terms of jobs and employment as well, which is quite interesting. And then once people have been on it, so in terms of social media, the number one way that people are finding the website from social media, the number one platform is, drum roll, it's YouTube, with 41% of people coming from social media, from YouTube, basically. And then the second most popular channel that's giving them traffic is Facebook. So that's 25%, followed by LinkedIn, 13%, Pinterest, 8.5%, Instagram, nearly 5%, and others. The others could be anything like Reddit or any other randoms. So yeah, that's basically what I'm seeing in terms of the website. Any other reflections on the website so far?
To just add on to the discussion about hospitality businesses having apps, what I noticed during sort of the Eat Out to Help Out time was the rising QR codes. So my sort of tip for maybe small businesses who don't have the funds or the resources to create an app, I would recommend really utilising QR codes because I know that when people go back into your business, people will be cautious about what they're having to touch, and they'll want everything to be as efficient as possible. And I really think that QR codes can offer every business, but particularly small businesses, I think it can be really effective.
Amazing. And then there are also opportunities for you to be able to develop apps by using companies like Crichton. Crichton is a Scottish-based company that helps hospitality businesses develop apps, and they make the whole kind of infrastructure of the app very, very easy for non-digitally literate people to be able to use and develop and get all the customer reviews and all their products in there, and make sure it's a very lively and engaging experience for their hospitality customers. Well done, well done. Great information. Okay, so let's move on. Unless there's anything else, move on to their Facebook experience. What are we seeing on their Facebook? The first thing I'm seeing when I go on there is an absolutely charming header video. And I've never seen anything quite so captivating before in my life. A lot of the hospitality businesses imagine that, you know, this kind of big piece of real estate at the head of the Facebook page is just for images, but in actual fact, you can put all kinds of videos in there. And as you can see, there's a gorgeous looking design that is got some great kind of artistic flow to it. So I have never ever in my life sat and paused looking at the development of their Facebook page as I open it. So I have got to give them major kudos for such a fantastic experience. However, do you think it fits with the brand?
Well, it does in a way, because those flowers kind of recall also the profile picture. So I think it's a spring theme kind of thing.
Right.
So it might be different for every season.
Interesting.
They also tend to use a different shade of blue from the usual one, but it's definitely there. So I think, yeah, it does fit.
And it's got a nice kind of green element to the coloring as well. Another fantastic thing I have to commend them on is having a Facebook shop. So if you basically want to go and click on the view the shop, what it means is that whether you're on a desktop or on your mobile phone, it's going to be much easier to have a look at, say, for example, the various collections. And then, say, for example, we're interested in the reusable cups. Then we can sort them into different, whether it's low price, high to low, low to high, which is the newest. And then we can click in, see much more information about the product that we're looking at, see all the descriptions that are going on there. And then we can click on checkout on website, and this will take you directly to the exact page where people can make that purchase and add to cart and go ahead and do the PayPals and the debits and everything like that accordingly. So this is a very, very, very big game changer in terms of people's ability to make purchases through social media, called social selling, and is proving to be a game changer, not just for products and retail environments, but also for cafe shops, restaurants, etc., who are in the process of allowing people now to make purchases directly from their environment. Interesting.
Whilst I commend them for having a Facebook shop, something that I noticed was they don't actually have an Instagram shop.
Why would you think that they have not indulged in the Instagram shop?
Potentially, could it be down to their target market? Because most older people, they would probably prefer to shop through Facebook. So it could be down to their target market.
And would you say then that the target market is older?
Not necessarily, no. But I do feel like with the number of hip, trendy brands already on Instagram, the younger folk may choose to go for a smaller independent place opposed to a chain brand.
Interesting.
Sorry, but I think they do have an Instagram shop, or like I can see it there.
Yeah.
Just on their official Instagram account.
Yeah.
So it could be that it was just launched today. Let's put it that way. Because at the end of the day, these Instagram shops and Facebook shops, they've only been around for a couple of months. They were launched during lockdown, which is one of the reasons why we're actually talking about it here for hospitality businesses, because a lot of hospitality businesses have been not keeping up necessarily with all the changes that are happening on social media. And that's why we've decided to devote some time to helping them to understand all the changes that have happened and what strategies they should be developing in order to build the buzz before they are able to reopen their premises fully. Okay, so we have the Instagram shop, and then what's the story with the ads? Have they ever been using much ads?
They're actually using ads right now in some of the countries, not in the UK, but they have ads currently running in Cyprus and Poland. They are, for example, in Cyprus, they're currently advertising. And the fact that they have reopened the premises, and also another sort of snack for two people. And I think in the US as well, they have an ad running, and it is linked to downloading the app.
Interesting. So apart from downloading the app, would you say that the other ads are about building brand awareness or trying to get people to come into the shop?
I think it's mainly to get people to come to the shops and just give them that kind of level of safety, saying that we're open and business back as usual.
Amazing.
We haven't disappeared. And there was also a couple of ads running in Poland, but they were in Polish, so I couldn't really translate them. But as far as I could see from the pictures, they were advertising a sweet menu with like lots of cakes and sweet treats.
Fantastic. So does anybody know if the Caffe Nero is actually open in the UK at the moment?
I don't know, but if I can add something to the apps, I think in Cyprus. Yeah, they were running ads to promote they do deliveries.
Right.
So I think it was just like to encourage people to order, even if they cannot come and sit in.
Well, I don't know about all branches, but I know that my local branch of Caffe Nero is shut because I walked by it today, so it's definitely shut.
Interesting. Oh well.
But I need to stress that is in a shopping centre, although Starbucks is open in that same shopping centre, and so is Costa. So, don't know. They must have made that decision, I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, the good thing about Caffe Nero, I guess, is that they have been strongly advocating that they're receiving too much of a tax burden compared to the international brands like Starbucks and Costa, because the British company is paying all the British taxes, whereas the other guys are located in other locations, so they don't have the same heavy burden of taxes. So they have all kinds of issues going on there. So maybe that would be a factor. I have a question. Maybe I'm really thick. I know I've had 5 children and everything, but what is a baby Chino?
It's just a milk, like just warm milk, and you can put like some chocolate flakes on top.
Right. So it's like a chocolate milk type thing.
Yeah.
And then
in some cafes, I think they even give it for free. Like if you order coffee and you have a baby, they give it to you for free.
Nice. Amazing. Thanks for clearing that up, because I was always looking at people buying baby chinos and going, they can't be buying coffee for those babies, are they? Amazing. So what are we thinking about the actual content, the day-to-day content that they're putting in? I can see that they've put in one at 4 hours ago, yesterday, the day before. It looks like a daily update that's happening.
Yeah, they're being very consistent with it. Their engagement rate is 1.3 just now.
1.3%. So to give people an idea of what that means, when it's very easy for people to be able to get a lot of numbers on social media, and most business owners, when they start off, their biggest demand is, we need to have big numbers so we can look popular. But the reality is, if you have big numbers and your engagement rate is really low, then the algorithms have to assume that your content is a bit garbage. So normally in social media, we have to estimate that if you have an engagement rate of around 3% or above, you're literally killing it. So 3% generally tends to be the golden number when it comes to all kinds of conversions and things like that. And anything beyond 3%, you're smashing it. If you're getting 3% of your website customers coming in and actually purchasing, well, you're killing it as well. But obviously, if you have any more than that, obviously it's a great bonus. So if they've got 1.5%, it's still healthy. You know, it's better than the anything under 1%. I would be getting a bit anxious. But given that they're operating during lockdown conditions, I ain't mad at that, as they say in America. Any other comments on the day-to-day posting, the organic posting?
I've seen that Facebook tends to follow what's posted on Instagram. It's the exact same content. But they do get quite a lot of comments, likes, and shares from their followers and fans. So that's really good, especially when they ask questions. Because Caffe Nero has this tendency of opening up cafes in very unique and historical buildings sometimes.
Mm.
So a trend that has been going on their social media is to ask the audience to try and guess the location of this shop, and then they also give a brief description of the history of the building. So that's like
Nice.
really interesting, and it generates a lot of hype around it. That's
Yeah,
definitely really good.
that's fantastic. Because I mean, the worst thing you can do as a business of any description is just be using your social media as a place to dump unthought through content, which is not going to be exciting or charming or interesting or educating or entertaining anybody anytime soon. And we can see, looking through the organic feed of Caffe Nero, that they have spent a lot of effort thinking about the kind of content that's going up there. So you have also a lot of content that's been posted up that they have credited to other creators, which tells me that either they are finding great content related to coffee, related to cakes, related to anything interesting in any way related to the cafe experience, or they are actually working with independent people to develop creative ways of putting their content together. So therefore, they're working with the kind of influencer community to make sure that that content is as creative as possible, rather than leaving it just to the marketing department, the bowels of the marketing department, to come up with all the creativity. So that's very interesting to see that, you know, every couple of posts they're bringing in an image or a video which has been created by some other photographer, videographer, and then they credit that other person as well.
Yeah,
And
because I think like all their pictures look like really professional and really like high quality. So like you could think they're posting every day so that the picture could be just like low quality, but I think they really make sure like everything looks like perfect what they put out. The same with Instagram and like Facebook as well.
yeah, so there's an opportunity for hospitality businesses to think about working with local creative people, local designers and artists, and everybody to, because everybody coming out of lockdown is looking for creative ways to make money. So collaborations with the local creative industries community and artistic community to do kind of projects or creative ideas around the theme of the brand could be quite an interesting way to be a win-win for both parties. Amazing. Anything else on Facebook before we move to Instagram, or shall we miss Instagram if the Instagram is the same as the Facebook?
The only thing I noticed about Instagram is that they have a few reels, actually just three of them, and they do use highlights for user-generated content, and they have these nice videos, actually, very professional videos about the origin of their coffee. So they traveled to Nicaragua and they met the farmers. They followed the process of the coffee beans before they hit their local bars.
Mm.
And I think it's a very good message that they're sharing about the ethical side of it, because a lot of times, especially with coffee, we tend to hear about farmers who don't get a good pay for the hard work, and you have these big companies profiting on them. So I think having these videos showing the actual people behind the coffee beans, it's a very, very good message that they can send out. And one thing that I would recommend them also, and that's linked to their YouTube channel, that hasn't been used in a long time, and I think that they could generate some extra extra content with the content generated by users.
Right.
So like putting together things like that, and that can be also used to make reels for or Instagram TV.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's a channel that's got 631 subscribers, which is not particularly impressive, but and yet it's still bringing in the most of their traffic when it comes to social media. Yeah, so there's an opportunity there for them to think more creatively when it comes to using videos. And of course, as we know, for any business, no matter what they do, whether they're B2B, B2C, hospitality, law firm, whatever, if they have some kind of video or animation or reels, moving image strategy, it's going to outperform any image-based strategy by far. Because the principle behind it is that the platforms want people to stay longer on their platforms and to come back more and more often and spend more time regularly there. So if you as a business or a content creator is creating content that helps people stay on that platform a bit longer, then you're helping the platform to create a really useful experience. So therefore, they're going to reward you with good algorithm support and make sure that your reach and visibility increases massively as a result as well. So any kind of video, animation, reels, even boomerangs will outperform images. And then if you are going to be working with images strictly as a business, then at least make sure that those images are carousel images, because carousel images allow you to have one or two or three kind of, or up to 8 or 10, depending if it's Facebook or Instagram, images all in the one post. And it allows people to kind of scroll along the images and therefore keep people longer looking at that particular post. You're basically stopping the scroll. And then to your point, Alberto, about provenance. Provenance marketing is absolutely critical for hospitality businesses, especially on the higher end of the hospitality, because you don't want to just go into a hotel and just have normal sheets. You want to have the Egyptian, cotton, high fiber, or whatever the fancy technical terms are, so that you know it's something luxurious at every point. Or you're not just buying that beef steak, you're getting the Aberdeen beef steak that has been grass fed and that has been sitting out in the highlands of the mountains of Scotland for the last couple of months, and they've just been waiting to give you their beef love or whatever. So yeah, that provenance story on everything that you do as a hospitality business is crucial, because it allows people as humans to just get engaged in a story. As soon as somebody actually, as a human, tells another person a story, there's a kind of there's an element of a kind of subconscious programming that happens, rather than just pushing some kind of content into people. So any content that's got some kind of narrative theme to it, or dramatic elements to it, or even, looking at this child who's sitting here on the city bench, drinking her coffee, looking straight into the camera with her little chocolate cake there. That's got a lot of story behind it in terms of who she is, where does she live, what is she going to grow up to be like. All of these things are very evocative, story-led type of images as well. So that's very important to think about that, as opposed to being that company that is only putting out the kind of product shots all the time, where you're really not going to get that engagement. You're really not going to be building that community around it. Any other points on Caffe Nero before we move on to Artisan Roast?
Well, maybe I would just only say that I think the YouTube channel has quite a potential. Like, it would be worth to keep going, because it seems that a year ago they just abandoned their YouTube channel completely. Because I think, like, especially at the beginning, like 2 years ago, they were getting pretty good views, especially like in some videos they even had like 8 or 11,000 views. I think it was, the one how to make a cortado. I think it had like around 8,000 views, which I think is quite good. They were like teaching people how to make coffee. So yeah, I think it would be just like quite worth to maybe revive.
Brilliant. I love that idea. And you can get very creative when you're not just working with your own small team as a hospitality business, but you're able to work with the creative industries around you and support each other mutually. Yeah, I think that'd be amazing. Okay, so well done, everybody. Let's move on to Artisan Roast. Artisan Roast is a coffee chain, small coffee chain, operating in Edinburgh. Are there any other places that they operate in?
I'm pretty sure they've got one in the West End of Glasgow.
Hello there. They're moving on up. That's brilliant. Any thoughts on their website then? Looks very impressive.
Yeah, it's a great design, isn't it? I really like it. They've got this pastel background and these images popping up. One thing that I would just like maybe point out is the use of space that they make. I think they tend to waste quite a lot of it on the website, but perhaps that's just the idea of the web designer, so nothing wrong with that.
How do you mean they waste a lot of space?
There's just like massive portions of the website where there's nothing, it's just empty. So see, for example, at the top, after they put down one of the original sparks to ignite the explosion, and then as you scroll down, you have the opening times just there, and then a massive like space around it that is not very like used. So, but I understand that could be actually a design idea behind it. It's definitely not. It's done on purpose. That's what I mean.
Yeah, for me, I like a sparse and light touch of content, because normally the more what they call white space that you have in your design, the more luxurious it looks. So if you want to make the comparison between, let's say, a very cheap brand online, they're going to have like lots and lots of images, lots of discounts, 20% off, you know, and it's very, very, very noisy with the different colors to grab your attention and everything. They're using a lot of the primary colors to make sure you do something anyway. And you can see them often when they're coming through the door as well, through the letterbox, that very old school kind of level of colors and things like that. So for me, when brands are using a lot of white space, that says that they're positioning themselves much more into the kind of luxury or quality type of space for me. Any other thoughts on the design?
I think it's really impressive. I think it's especially impressive. I don't know if this is in all the coffee shops, but in the Bransfield one.
Emily, we've lost you. Emily, what have you done with your phone? Emily, you're talking.
Yeah.
We can't hear you.
I'm just saying how I think it's odd that they don't have Wi-Fi, but they have a really good website.
They don't have Wi-Fi?
Yeah, and one of the shops in Bransfield, I asked about the Wi-Fi, and the barista was like, "We don't do Wi-Fi here. We're an internet-free zone." And I just thought that was a very odd thing for a coffee shop to be in 2021 or 20.
We've lost you again. What was the last sentence?
Just that.
Poor connection. Maybe it's my one.
It's cutting for me too.
Okay, all right. So if we have problems with the connection, we can close down on Clubhouse and then move straight into YouTube Live. Oh, we've already covered blooming 50 minutes. That's crazy. Well done, everybody. This is very, very interesting. Yeah, so as you were saying, Emily, it's a very, very, what do we say, challenging, provocative, bold, or very retrograde perspective of not having Wi-Fi in the place. For me, it always feels like a place that is says that I don't want to have Wi-Fi is like the kind of real ale community. It's like they're wanting to speak to men. It's a male audience because a lot of kind of techie men and stuff, they don't necessarily want to be seeing people on their phones. For some reason it annoys them. I don't know, what do you think?
I think, well, the vibe that I get is a very, like, the staff all look very cool with, like, their stick and poke tattoos and, like, the vintage clothes, which would probably look like a sack on me. And I think...
We've lost you again. Hello, hello? Emily? Calling Emily? Hello, Emily? Come
And she
on
never
back.
hears, she just keeps talking like...
If I could just add something about the no Wi-Fi, I would understand the move for a restaurant, for example, because the sort of experience is different. People go there to eat and talk to each other, but a cafe, you have people who go to a cafe to work and type a document, doing some university research, those kind of things. So having Wi-Fi is definitely an extra point.
Perfect. All right, so let's take the rest of this onto YouTube Live, because I think we've already lost Emily on the Clubhouse, and I can see Petra is not on the Clubhouse for some reason as well. So we'll just leave quietly.
Yeah, I just left because you said maybe
we'll
the
just
signal.
continue with YouTube. So we just wait for the YouTube to catch up with us then. Perfect. All right, so let's take the rest of it. Okay, so we're back on YouTube now. All right, so we've done the website and we've analyzed the brand quite well. Very well, in fact, if I do say so myself. And then what are we thinking about their Facebook experience?
The one thing that stood out to me was
my
just
Wi-Fi is loading really slowly. Ooh, it's lovely to see that they've got a Facebook shop. Isn't it wonderful? So what are they selling on the Facebook shop? Must be coffee, I would imagine. I don't think it's going to be cakes. I could be wrong. What is this Bolivia Trapiche? What is this? Is this a particular type of coffee that they're selling? For me, it's strange that they have this as the big headline, whereas the actual logo is a little tiny thing on the top left-hand side corner.
Yeah, I agree. I was quite confused when I opened the website. I was like, what is this? Maybe it would be better if they swap it, just like better to understand.
I think we're getting all kinds of feedback issues going on. So often that means that it's time to draw it to a close. Unfortunately, we're having all kinds of tech issues. Everything's breaking down. Clubhouse is not working. We're getting too much feedback going on between YouTube and everything else. So I guess we'll have to call it a day for today. But well done. That's phenomenal. Fantastic ideas coming from everybody. And hopefully for you guys in the hospitality businesses, you've been able to learn a lot of great tools, tips, and techniques to help you actually relaunch the business coming out of lockdown. So any questions, make sure you drop us a message in the comments below, subscribe, ring the bell. And if you need a hand with anything, give us a shout as well. We're always here to help in any way possible. All right, so on behalf of me and the Supersize Media team, Amy, Petra, Emily, and Alberto, ciao from everybody.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.